It is a sunny afternoon here in Santa Monica. The sun is starting to go down, but it's still bright for the time being. But the sunsets are quite picturesque here. Definitely, if you are ever in LA, it's worth a day trip to Santa Monica. The beach, the sounds, the basketball. Muscle Beach as well, which is under renovation at the moment. So you won't find any tonk dudes there, if that's what you're looking for. 411 days since we could draw the map. However, that will soon change in about, well, it should change in an hour, but it's actually set to GMT rather than, I guess, BST. So it takes 2 hours, but soon it'll be 412 days since we could draw on the map, unless there is like some kind of shock update on Monday. That's not really happening very often. I am joined, just like in the European show, by Monsieur Dan, Monsieur DDK. That's one person, by the way, not two. And then Ron Rambo Kim here to my right. We're going to continue things in North America. Now, let's have a look at the bracket, shall we, and see. Oh, no, it's the format. It's the format. Because the first 2 weeks are different to the week 3, 4, and 5. Week 3, 4, and 5, very simple. Win the bracket, go to LAN. Get some bonus money as well. You can see the fine detail there at the lower half of your screen. Pretty straightforward stuff. Single elimination, best of 3 all the way, win, and you're good. It's as simple as that. The rules are very clear. Now we can look at the bracket and see who we have playing this week in North America. We have got Furia or Furia, anyway, you can tweet me, I always forget which one it is, versus the Riot Squad at the top of the bracket. INTZ versus Cloud9. It's very Brazilian affair in the top half. Moving towards the bottom half, we've got ATK, who had a nice run in week number 2. Versus Complexity, a new look Complexity. We actually played with one of the ATK players recently, MOTM. Then we've got X Singularity.
We should call him Assy. They said that we should call him.
Yeah, we'll get to that later on, Dan. I'm trying to get through the bracket here. I am the host of the show after all, but thank you for interrupting.
You're very slow, James.
X Singularity versus Evil Geniuses is at the bottom part of the bracket, as you can see there. And these are the games we've got on the broadcast. INTZ versus Cloud9, and then X Singularity versus Evil Geniuses. It is really nice to see the EG brand back in Counter-Strike. It's just a nice logo. It evokes great emotion. You know, we've got a lot of teams coming in from different, organizations coming in from different games and so on. But EG just, it feels good, man. Feels good to have them on the broadcast. So yeah, those are going to be our matches for today. All these matches are leading into finals. The finals will be in Arlington, Texas. Close enough to Dallas. It's only an Uber ride away, and you can make it to the finals as well. ECS.FACEIT.com is where you can go to pick up some tickets for the finals. All the information can be found on the website. If anything's unclear, feel free to send me a tweet, and I'll do my best to answer it for you. Also, of course, this is all part of the FACEIT platform, which you can play on FACEIT.com. There are hubs, which we normally talk about at the end of the broadcast, but I'm going to talk about it now. We've got the ECS hubs, ECS cups as well. Do a search in the search bar at the top for ECS, and you will find all the information there. We've got points and prizes to give away, and also add me on FACEIT. I want 4,000 friends. I've got about 3,800 at the moment, and I want more. I'm greedy. I'm a glutton. So I want the calories. I just want to inhale calories by way of friend requests.
What's your username?
JZFB. Very good question. I want to change it to Bardolph.
Okay.
Because I don't like every time, well, not every time, but a lot of the times we get announced for an event and they put James JZFB Bardolph. I'm not James JZFB Bardolph. I'm just James Bardolph. I don't want a nickname professionally. I just want my name. But it perpetually appears. It's not a nickname, it's just my name on Steam. I don't want a nickname. And I don't want to put James Bardolph either. I'm not going to be oppressed into putting my own name. But I like Bardolph with capitals. And also I think, you know, when I get those salty frags, I think it just makes it a little bit more annoying. And I like that.
Anytime you die with anyone with all caps name,
yeah,
immediate salt factor.
Exactly. When it's like an actual word rather than an acronym.
You say you don't want it to be your nickname, James, but it has literally been your nickname.
It's not my nickname.
Counter-Strike for the thousands of games you played. It's JZFB in game.
Yeah.
Why is it not Bardolph then?
What was it before? I don't even
remember. That's why it's sticking around, James, because you're using it.
That's why I'm saying I want to change it.
Okay, change it.
Well, someone's taken Bardolph. That's not really an issue, though. I can just take it anyway.
You can. Take it by force.
Change the name to Bardolph 1. Change the name to not Bardolph.
Yeah.
and then
Not abuse of power at all.
I'll need I'll need to put some like a placeholder for JZFB so no one impersonates me. So anyway, I'd spent a lot of time talking about myself. I'm not like a narcissist.
But that is just a show, though.
It's just
We've all accepted it. We just didn't tell you yet. This is your podcast. We didn't tell you that.
It is. It's just.
It's just
But have you thought about an alias other than your name?
No, but that's not what I want. Because whatever I change it to, they're just gonna put that on. If I put it as like AskMaster57 or something, I bet they would. Actually, they probably wouldn't. Maybe if I went to AskMaster57, they wouldn't. Should I do that?
I approve.
Maybe people wouldn't stream snipe so much. You know, when we play, he often doesn't have a delay on.
It's definitely gonna know your opponents more when you take them out with that name.
By the way, we also have broadcasts on Caffeine, so you can see we've got Mike Kane and Philip Garcia, Frost the Sheikah. Don't mind it. I don't mind it. They will be covering the games that are upcoming, which are off stream. So if you wanted to check one of those out, you've got links below, caffeine.tv/keymix and Frost CSGO. That's where you can find the relative matches, if that's what you want to tune into. ATK have been a pleasant surprise. Complexity have had some up and down results, but they've got a few rounds on the board against some opponents of late. So, you know, if you want to check those out, then have a look. You can see Hen1 playing on Furia as well. Big fan of Furia myself. But anyway, into today's action. Cloud9 versus INTZ. Now, I need to pull my phone up because I was looking at the recent matches. INTZ recently beat Ben's anime team 2-0. I don't know what match that was, like what that was a part of, but they beat Ben's anime team 2-0. Cloud9 have been playing a higher level of opposition. They've lost their last four games, most of them 1-2. They got 0-2'd by Evil Geniuses, but I mean, that's fine, really, to be honest with you. But this is a good, really, I think the story here for me is what shape are Cloud9 in? Because we want to see them on an upwards trajectory. What are your thoughts, Mr. Rambo?
Yeah, when they first put together this lineup, I thought there was a lot of potential. You know, you've got a mix of young players. You got TenZ, you know, super young fragger. You've got the storied IGL, who just is famous for putting teams together and making it work, and having good systems. You have Automatic. He's you know, fantastic player, just very versatile. And the results just, you know, I think they need more time. They have Kusta, you know, so like it's kind of like it's a random mix of players. You know, there hasn't been a core that stuck around that you can kind of transition into. It was just a compilation of 5 players that were put together, and you know, they have to build everything from scratch, and you have to teach a young player too, to fit into the system. So, you know, we haven't seen any of the results that we might have expected to see at this stage, but you know, this is a good week to step up. You know,
yeah, I always like to put it as like a new team like this, they have 14 halves to learn. If you look at the map pool, essentially, or maybe you have like a solid veto every game or something. But there's a lot of work to do. I want to see Kusta sniping more, because I feel like he's definitely developed into his own. He has an identity now. Whereas before, like when Jason was hyping him up and it was a little too early, he was very green, and you know, he had some highlights. Like around Inferno and stuff, but if you looked at them, it was kind of like very puggy situation, a bit overblown. But since then, he's definitely grown into, he has his own personality. He loves, he's got really sick plays on Inferno, which we won't see today, ironically. But it's interesting. When they first announced the team, I was on the Cloud9 squad, and I wanted to, like, I didn't want to be non-committal and be like, oh yeah, I think it's interesting. I did say it's interesting from the point of view that I don't know if it'll be the final lineup. I didn't want to be too negative, but at the same time, wasn't trying to please necessarily. But I think it's hard to say that any 5-man roster is going to reach for the sky. You're going to find some issues, and you have to wonder how much time they've been given to find a solution before someone might step in and make some changes and so on. So I think there's a lot going on. But I suppose before we get into more detail on that, we should get into our predictions. For me, I have to pick Cloud9. They should be a better team. They've got better resources. They've got a stronger overall lineup. They've got more potential, and they should have deeper strats. INTZ, obviously, they've lost some of their players, which may give them a new identity. But they are at a point, I think both teams have a lot to prove, but I think general, like we know the pedigree of the players on Cloud9 and our expectations for them as a team will overall be higher than what we've seen from INTZ, especially on the T side where there's been so much struggle in the past.
C9 for me.
See, I'm going with whatever Sugi's got.
I almost thought to
Oh
say that,
my
actually.
Can I do
god,
that?
he's been influenced by Dan. Of course you can.
All right,
Connor,
I almost was gonna
double
say
down
that.
on Sliggy's
I'm
pick.
going to go with C9. I think the maps are just better for them.
okay, there we go. A sensible pick from Connor.
Okay. Yeah. C9 it is. C9 it is. I think the
You
big.
look like you almost wanted him to pick INTZ just for the memes.
Yeah, I mean, Sliggy's going with everyone else, and yeah, he said the map pool favors Cloud9.
Yeah.
For C9, the thing I want to see from them is I want them to close the rounds that they should close. I don't want them losing 43s or getting sloppy. Just play clean rounds, clean CS, and finish the rounds. I think that's, the previous matches I've seen with them, they have been throwing around advantages, throwing away advantages when they should be closing those. And some of that could be just nerves or miscommunication or chemistry or whatever it is. They need to close out the rounds, and that's what I want to see.
Dan, what do you think of Cloud9 from what we've seen so far and I guess the roster announcement to now?
It's tough because it's been a week or two beyond 3 months now with this team, and so they've had quite a lot of time, and I would have expected them to be further along for sure. The recent games I've seen, they've looked a little bit lost when they get a bad start, and so it's been a bit surprising because they haven't been able to set up 10s very much. It feels like he's a guy that when I saw the inaugural games, I saw him doing some crazy stuff, making a lot happen with very little. And I was thinking to myself, okay, once they build the structure and they place him in the right spots, we're going to see him do very well. That still hasn't quite happened with 10s. They're not able. We haven't seen his skill be leveraged too much in this lineup just yet. So that's actually a big part of it for me, because if Automatic is also not in roles in which he's providing that star level power, we haven't seen the firepower. Mixwell also hasn't been very active. It feels like I've seen a passive Mixwell. I haven't seen a Mixwell's taking the ball by the horns Mixwell. So these are some of the things that I'm looking to see change as well as what Ron said. So
okay, let's look at the numbers then. See what the internet thinks now. We've got one of the biggest orgs in America versus Brazil, basically. So I did wonder, and the people are pretty much 50-50. So actually, I'm surprised. I think it's hard to have the Brazilian squad defeated in any matchup in terms of the user predictions, because they're such a big fan base. But here they are, 44%, man. You guys are slacking. You've got to get them votes up there. But what do Pinnacle think about this? I think you have to favor Cloud9. But I don't know that you would necessarily favor them massively. There is a question mark for INTZ with this new team. I don't know if we've seen maybe once new INTZ. I'm not sure that we've seen them since their recent roster changes, so who knows what to expect, but they're a pretty solid favorite as far as Pinnacle are concerned, so this is going to be a very interesting affair. It's a journey of discovery for INTZ. For Cloud9, I suppose we're looking for more. We're looking for more confidence. As a fan of Cloud9, you want to be able to watch them and have confidence. Maybe not in the biggest matchup like an Evil Geniuses or something, not yet, but you want them to be beating like 70% of teams. I don't know if they're there.
Especially in NA region.
Yeah.
I mean, against this team, all they have to do is just have good basics, and they should close out, because we can expect INTZ to make a lot of mistakes, given their current context, not to speak of them as a team or players, but just the situation they're in. There should be mistakes for Cloud9 to capitalize on.
So you've got SHZ back on the team. I can't remember if it's pronounced SHZ or something else, but if you know, then feel free to send me a tweet. 10 standing by oil, waiting for Bush. He'll get one up top. He's ready for it. Had only one bullet left, and down he goes. 3 versus 3, bomb being planted default. Daps with a smoke and a diffuse here, as is normal. Kusta taking Yell out. Do wonder if we'll see more sniping from Yell now in this new look INTZ. Always been under the thumb of a more dominant personality as far as sniping goes, but the pistol will continue. Cello now against 2 red health players. Daps the last man standing. He's got the kit. It'll be a fast defuse. Oh, he's changed his gloves. It looks like his hands are robot hands now when he's holding that knife. Looks like he's got no thumbs or fingers. That's really weird. He had a poverty version of my gloves before. Anyway. Cloud9 get there. That's the start you want on the CT side. Well, I say that, but I think these days you can't really say that until round 3.
Right, especially with the bomb plant.
Because here come the Kriegs.
2 SGs, Scout.
They have only 1 player without Kevlar. 2 Kriegs, a Galil, and a Scout.
And I think that's something you got to consider on the CT side more, that more teams are going to be trying to guarantee the bomb plant, which means you probably would see the majority of rounds go towards B. I just feel like it's more guaranteed. Just feels like it's more consistent.
The problem is, from the CT perspective, if you buy Kevlar and you get 1 kill, and your Kevlar is untouched, then you can get the cheap helmet and a rifle in the next round. But if you have to spend $1,000 to get a helmet, then more often than not, you're not going to be able to get an M4 of some description. So, and I'd say most of the time, you're not going to get that cheap helmet. So you're going to have to sacrifice something, which plays into the advantage of INTZ, where it doesn't matter. They can still get this purely by planting the bomb. This has become the meta now. Every team is doing this.
It's actually interesting. TenZ is on the silenced M4. That's an interesting choice. You don't really see silenced M4s almost at all at the moment.
Ooh.
And so that's interesting.
Surely that smoke's supposed to go into the ladder room. Unless they've got their own variation of it. Look at this execute from INTZ.
Oh, that's really interesting.
They are essentially splitting the site, but they're making their way. Okay, they've got sandwich. They're through main. They've taken Ivy. The smoke was up, but it's gone now, and the bomb will be planted. How about that? The bomb planted with 10 people alive on train.
It's very cool. I like Cloud9's response, taking it easy. They don't know exactly what they're up against, but now it might be a safe situation. Trying to get rid of the FAMAS automatic, and it's not going to matter too much.
Gotta save here.
It's a really interesting round. I don't think I've seen a round like that where you get that smoke to get sandwich control and then split through sandwich and team main. It's really interesting. However, I like that Cloud9 just played a reactive game to try to figure out what was going on. Again, they shouldn't be in this mentality that they're the better team, I would say, and just take consolation in the fact that, again, INTZ are going to there'll be some leaks in their game. And if you just play some good, solid fundamentals, you should be fine.
And yeah, I mean, Cloud9 just giving way too much space for INTZ. And that was definitely an interesting strat, because usually when you come out alley, you'll scale, you'll scale like under camera. But they played it patient. They fully cleared hell and sandwich, like you mentioned, and then they took bomb train again in a second phase. And Cloud9, I don't know if they thought there was a fake outside, or they just felt like they were going to get overwhelmed and just conceded entirely.
Yeah, it seemed like not a single player made a play for position at the time in which they had an option to do it, and then they were all suddenly really far back, and then there was no option to do it. And so it's like a really weird spot. I think because maybe, as you say, they didn't expect the round to look like that too. It's kind of a weird situation.
Honey Badger Desert Eagle.
I feel like TenZ is, for me at least, known with that. I have to say, like, the Deagle work I've seen from TenZ has been insane. One of the best Deagles I've seen of late.
Very notable.
Yeah.
He has a notable Desert Eagle. INTZ creeping up Ivy. I guess newfound timing from them. I do wonder if it'll continue though. Often with the likes of INTZ and Luminosity before they dissolved, they'd spend a lot of time looking at choke points on the T side of the train. There we go, making inroads now for a potential wrap of the B bomb site. SHZ creeping up in the upper B position. That is he good for 2. There's 1, they're lining up for him. Could have been 3, but 2 may do. Kusa does not engage with the scout. Got to be real careful. This is an awkward situation for all concerned now. Yell mollies himself off, but he's stuck in CT spawn of the bomb. So the other 2 players are by default. This is a very weird situation. Flashbangs are out and the bomb has been lost. 18 seconds on the clock. 1 versus 2. Multiple weird rounds of Counter-Strike now. Very unusual stuff. And Cloud9 are back in control.
Well played by Daps. He had a strong angle there and was able to isolate some one-on-ones. Ton of damage. And yeah, you just get stuck back there. And then you still have to cover ground to get to the site. And I think INTZ, they're just getting a little bit too fancy. They didn't need to wrap around.
Definitely seen a lot of the whole too fancy thing today, costing teams rounds.
Yeah, when you know the other team's low on money and equipment, you know, you don't have to play fancy or tricky or do anything fancy. You're just gonna get yourself complicating things when you do something simple. You know that take the variables out.
Destiny regrets his choices. That's a ironic sentence, I suppose. Kind of. 1 minute on the clock. Sound cues have disappeared for the most part from INTZ. Still showing some presence around the ladder position. Two smokes for INTZ. So Zand is at least giving sound cues towards main. Very slow, methodical, deliberate. Kusta standing his ground, falling to the flames. May as well have gone up the ladder, to be honest, but anyway, it's a job well done because this run may be over now. Very late play into the ladder, and those are the slow rounds we sometimes talk about. They mostly around main and Ivy, but it's still the same.
Yeah, there is, to some extent, this concept that we talked about earlier today on Overpass, in which it's different to the typical fundamental that you see on most maps, where it's not great on the CT side to go down a man or to trade 1-for-1. It's usually going to be the T favored. If it's in the right, it depends on the context as well, because on train, if you get that kill early, it can be really a struggle for the T side actually, to lose an ace on one player, to have to give up something like IV completely, or just to have enough players in one spot to push together so you can trade as you're moving into position somewhere. So it's actually, I like that committed play around the ladder sometimes because of that reason. This feels very good, doesn't it, for automatic. He's going to try to push along. Oh, spots the shoulder.
Well, Cello was peeking repeatedly, but he didn't bait any shots. I think automatic was trying to catch them off guard, but that was a deeper peek, so maybe he feels like he was spotted. And with that, there's still not a lot going on. You see a Molotov, I presume it's just thrown by the CTs. What on earth?
That's kind of insane that no one's checking that.
But where's everyone? Why is he the only person there? That's a lot of information.
That's very odd.
No one else really playing off of that play. So maybe there's a clue that it is being played. Team unsure. Pop flash into ladder in the meantime. Stuck in the choke point, and Daps will deliver. So again, we can see Cloud9 on the left. They lost one player and they had 4 flashbangs left. So a lot of utility was dumped, and that's one of the main things you can get out of a round such as that. Just make the CT side spend as much money as possible, and it is a Krieg party on the T side.
It's interesting too, because when you go out upper B as a T, it can be a really strong play if the CT side doesn't have an AWP there. I wonder if that dynamic changes a bit because the Krieg is so good on the CT side that it makes the upper B walks weaker. But we'll have an aggression here from Booster. It's a 1v1 that he's going to come out on top of, and that is T main control. That's big. Got to be careful here. Okay. I think he's trying to grab a gun.
Yeah. Can I get it? Can I not get it? Well,
I think the moral of the story there is finish taking control of the area first, and before you go for the guns.
SG just looked so juicy.
Yeah, man.
Like, I want it so bad.
I died like that last night, so Definitely. It's so hard sometimes. It's so tempting.
Another slow round from INTZ. Yell, is that an Ivy smoke? Yeah, I'm not sure where that one.
So automatic.
Oh,
He
that's
heard
the
those footsteps, at least 2.
Ooh, and he has been denied. INTZ just now through the choke point, waiting for the Molotov to go. Up Mixwell goes. He fired the shot. Didn't seem to land though. That allows Cello to make his way forward, deleting players with the Krieg. INTZ with this slow, methodical style only lost 1 player so far. What can Daps really do but try and slither away?
This is a pretty interesting round because of the timing of how INTZ executed that push. Because there was kind of a pause for a second there. And one thing that's unusual too is Automatic went straight up the ladder. Like he went up for the flank very quickly. Typically that doesn't happen quite so fast. That's actually getting some damage in here, but he won't have enough time. But he can keep the Krieg alive.
I think he heard at least 2 footsteps, and then he was maybe guessing a third was in there. So, you know, 3 out of 4. He was trying to get the hero play, but gives away a free one. So that's 2. There's you know, advantage lodge 5 on 4. You have T mid, and just 2 easy frags that you're giving to INTZ.
And the Krieg party continues. A little drop for Destiny. So there's a chance one of these teams will be broken. Both money loss bonuses in the bin for both teams, right? In this situation. So there are advantages, big advantages to be had. Especially if you can win by elimination. Nothing saved. 4 players in the A bomb site for Cloud9. INTZ trying to avoid the initial grenades, the HEs, the Molotovs towards that main position. Kusta avoids initial engagement. Try to flush out the Ts from E-Box, and he will be successful. Now INTZ can take the upper B area.
Alright, so some control in the brown holes, making their walk perhaps. Again, you got the Kriegs, so like the walkouts could be like extra strong, but you got to be careful of the AWP placement from the CTs, that is. And this time, T-Con seems to be for free. Automatic's going to get his push on, and the flank begins. However, he has to have good timing. He might have actually excellent timing here. See, yet to make their way into the bomb site, starting to move now. So indeed, Automatic will have great timing, and he'll get the player guarding the ladder room this time. The sweet revenge for Automatic as Daps tries to defend on the bomb site. He will go down, of course, but the bomb needs to be collected. It's got to be planted, but with that flank presence, that's an issue. Kusta also occupying a distraction for these T players. INTZ towards the front of the bomb site, and that's going to be the flank working the charm. It's a good retake from Cloud9, and this time Automatic doesn't get caught out by ladder.
Yeah, and I think that was interesting. They did INTZ. They did a double take inner. They had a first wave. They had 5 smokes when they regrouped the inner. They threw their first wave, and they hit on a second wave. I think if they went on the first wave, they wouldn't have been susceptible to the flank and given Automatic all that time. So interesting that they went. If they'd gone on the first wave, I think they would have had a better chance.
The HE to do pre-position, and it will land. Kusta taken out immediately. See those counters used against the Stralis as well. That's where you'll see the pre-hopping up on occasion. Automatic taken out. Now we've got real big issues. TenZ needs a multi-frag. Mixwell is trying to swarm on him, but Daps is here as well. Really patient shots from Destiny, and this is getting really awkward. Mixwell, it's hard for him to re-peek in this situation. Cello coming out from the back as well. Destiny's putting the bomb out, but surely it's time for frags. Cloud9 will prevail after all.
That would have been devastating to lose that round. That would have they're gonna have a hard enough time contesting this round because they're gonna have to spend all their money. and their buy's not going to be great. They might be lacking nades unless they have a decision between nades and firepower here. Do Cloud9. Or maybe not. Maybe not as much as I thought. I thought they wouldn't be able to get as much utility here, but yeah.
Yeah, the INTZ getting away with way too much. Cloud9 passively watching mid, and they're just walking out and shooting people, getting too easy of shots.
That's a risky play there.
Yeah, INTZ is also in some trouble for sure.
That's a nice way to answer back though.
Yeah, that's actually so much damage. I'm surprised he went for that, because he had to go kind of deep for the throw, and they were spamming it as well. The risks being taken, but paying off there for Cloud9. 3 players around Ivy. The bomb is on the grounds towards T-spawn, so someone's going to have to peel away and grab that. Who's it going to be? Might be Cello. Ooh, pop flash play, here it comes. Flashbang. Oh no, TenZ can't get anything. But he does get the information, that is something.
Ivy in control of INTZ as the opening pick. It's a really strong position to be in. They have a minute on the clock as well. We know the Brazilian style is often at snail's pace, so this will be difficult for Cloud9 to deal with. It's a very free frag though.
So many free kills there for Kusta.
3 players now around the main position again. INTZ not through the checkpoints. That said, Destiny is creeping up towards Ivy. And Kusta just waiting in ladder. Another unanswered frag. A wide swing again. It's like late guesses essentially for INTZ. And it will not pay off for them. Last 2 rounds they put Cloud9 on 2 players, but they're unable to capitalize on the potential in this round. They are sent back to Eco Town.
Yeah, they got the pick there in alley, and they had 3 there. I think one of the kind of mistakes that I saw is that they left the bomb in T-spawn, and as soon as they got that alley kill, they couldn't really like capitalize because that person teammate can't really go anywhere with the bomb by himself. Can't go out mid or ladder because ladder hasn't been taken, so there was a slight confusion there on how they're gonna finish.
Yeah, that's train, isn't it? You gotta kind of from start to finish have a good picture as to how it all fits together. And Cloud9 are in a fantastic spot now. They weathered 2 pretty scary rounds, and now they're reaping the rewards because it's just Eagles for INTZ. Daps has been holding onto his creek pretty effectively. It's 12 for 3. This is the money builder this round for Cloud9. They can't afford to lose anyone.
Again, INTZ will try to dry out the opposition. A change of angle from Kusta. Again, it's specifically on train, it's really interesting when you have a T-side eco of Deagles, because if they can bait the CTs into re-picking them from the same tight channel, there's such a minimal correction for the T-side if they have the angle first to 1-deag someone, that it can really prove very problematic and expensive for a CT side. 25 seconds on the clock now for INTZ. They need to die. But again, it's so... just even to get an opportunity to plant the bomb, they're leaving themselves so little time to do it. And the bomb carrier's got 4 HP, of course. And there it is. On to the next one.
And if I'm INTZ here, I'm going to try to get ladder control. C9 has been playing super aggressive in there. So doing some kind of nade take where they molly, the deep molly, and then they double nade down or flash and double take it. But if you know the CTs are down there, you've got to have 1 or 2 ways that you know you can clear it. That's a spot that you can punish if you have a good take or use your nades well.
Smoke from Kusta, it's just to delay any drop because they don't know what's in the smoke, they can't molly it out. That's going to buy a lot of time as it serves as a great counter to what you were talking about, but for INTZ it doesn't matter because in comes the push through T-Con. They've made their way to Olofmeister, but there's still quite a ways to go and they can't get there because automatic stops them. trade comes through, but there's still not that much positioning here for INTZ. It's just one, but now he's dead as well. Zand's gone, Kusta, now the smoke's gone. SHZ will try to get the drop down, but Cloud9 have an answer for everything.
3v2 with 1 minute on the clock. Problem is, Kusta hears all of this. Well, I say all of it. He hears one player rotating, but he may have heard the bomb. I'm not sure if he's got the range to hear the bomb being dropped on the floor there. Again, you can drop a rifle. It makes exactly the same sound, but not very common you see that happen. Yell creeps out. 2 of the 3 players now by connector, holding off angles, as you can see. Yell has been spotted. Very careful, though, the CTs, but they've lost position. Cello's lost his face. Up the ladder, Kusta goes. Now, he's the person to stop the rotation, so he has to be careful not to be eliminated. 17 seconds. What does Yell choose to do? He knows he's giving sound cues away. And again, 10-second marker, and it's another round in the bag for Cloud9. 9-2 at the moment.
I love how you could have picked up an orb, but keep the Krieg, because you can buy an orb, but you can't buy a Krieg. The Krieg is so OP, even though there's a difference like, what, $2,000?
I'm not sure why didn't they go inner. Yell had inner, he went lower. The guy above ladder could have got bomb and planted.
Yeah, that's a good point. He peeked down the ladder when he could just join his teammate. Yell had an angle on connector as well.
Maybe he was expecting a fast flank.
So, you know, maybe outbraining themselves. Yeah. That's a difficult one. Well, Yell's gone for the Krieg and no grenades. 3 smokes and 0 flashes for some of the tightest choke points in the game. I guess it's time for the dry peaks. Prioritizing the Kriegs. Kriegs over everything. A stark difference to some of the rounds we saw from Big Clan, for example, where we saw heavy utility at a sacrifice of other things to try and achieve something. Well, there goes Zand. Creeping through the smoke. It's just not the one. It is not the one.
Well,
this is a buy round. Let's not forget.
It's automatic and pick up a Krieg. That's the point.
Not quite how you want to run default. A little impatience there, just kind of hoping for the best, walking through smoke. And again, Cloud9 taking ladder control. And you know, they get so much info playing aggressive there. They can hear the noises inner, or you can let them out mid and just hold ladder.
Guesswork. Pop the peek. Okay. Opening kill. Bomb spotted though. That's the bomb on the radar with 29 seconds. So how much is there to be concerned about? Not much. You know, SHZ's carrying the bomb. Should know he's roughly in this situation, roughly in this area rather. And there we go. No utility really to get into. I mean, the only thing they had was a combination of, I think maybe there was a Molotov earlier on. So smoke and molly combo for IV. Outside of that, or the ladder room, in fact. But beyond that, walking through smoke's not the one. Now we're on the Deagles. So I think low on utility, a play like this with some flashes, maybe there would be more mileage in that in the previous round, at least for me. Some ugly ass Krieg TenZ is holding, but he won't be holding it for long. Automatic is close, he'll drop the Molotov. Incendiary rather. Pop flash from his teammate. Daps has gone hiking. He's got his walking boots on. Does he swing round to check the showers though? Because if he does, he will find a lot. But oh boy, now we've got problems because no one is on the B bomb site at all. However, not going to engage. He's looking for more daps.
I think he's going to call that inner as clear because he only sees one. He's going to think they're outside.
And now Xander's in a flanking position as well. Oh, but he's come out too soon. But how could they know that no one's on the B bomb site?
So weird. Such a weird situation. This is now winnable for INTZ because of the positioning. Now SHC needs to make sure that he's not too far away. That's going to be a kill. There's one though. Now it could be 2 free ones. This has to be 2. Akusta will find SHZ, and that's going to be a wrap. Bit scary, but comes to a close in favor of Cloud9 again. 11-2 now for them. It's not looking like INTZ are able to find any consistency.
They had success that round getting out mid with one player unscathed, so I think that's the opening. Maybe do some kind of fast outside exec. Going slow isn't working.
What did you think about that round where they had no flashbangs and just prioritized rifles and everybody?
It just looks super forced. They're, you know,
I think it's a lot to ask for Train.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, to me, those fights look like tilty because it feels like there's no reason not to have utility for someone to have utility.
Maybe leans towards a lack of depth on the T side.
Yeah, it could be if people are getting, if people are feeling like we don't really have a plan anyway.
Well, they've got a full scope buy, plenty of utility, and it's the raw peak of the Krieg, which works to a treat on the B bomb site. And look at the inroads Cello is making on the B train yard. He is almost at the other end. So strong when you can do this, but he's still the only person that deep. Got Yell falling back up again with the AWP. And SHZ still by the sidewalk. Only Cello is deep. I think they could have done more with this positioning. Still 4 players alive. Cello creeping. Some free fire, and he's not quite going to hit the mark. Going to lose the duel to a 5-7 with a Krieg up close. And again, now they don't have position. They're not on a train yard. It's a 4 versus 1. Zan's going to get sprayed into oblivion. Not quite able to do enough there. The defuse will come just in time.
Maxwell just said no. It's just like, he just did all that by himself. That's amazing.
Yeah, that first one was huge. Was able to get that first one with the pistol and then takes out 2 more, or 1 more at least.
I love how, even though he's the AWPer, he knows that they have to move forwards. So he brings out the pistol and goes forwards. He doesn't wait or bait somebody or thinks I'm the AWPer, so I'm going to chill here, keep my AWP out. He's just going to go forwards. And that's so important. Positions everything.
Okay, INTZ changing the pace entirely. Zan taking a lot of flame damage. Player spotted. Down Ivy. Oh, the HE. You have to wonder if it's coming. HE's having a resurgence. Partly, I would think, due to Astralis' prowess with them.
Ooh.
He's got such a good angle. Cello peeking so close to the corner of the wall. Absolute deletion. Yell and Zand remain. It'll be choked at the choke point. Fadeaway flashbang as well. Mixer not too shy. Up close with the AWP. Yell looking for a creeper.
I like the placement of the smoke there from Mixwell as well. He purposely put it really far to the left, so there would be a gap for himself and his teammates to work with, which kind of makes it impossible for INTZ. Another big kill coming in from Daps. That's just got to go for it. He's got no utility. Trying to just fake it out, just to move into position. 30 seconds, bomb is beyond recovery at this point. And here comes the peak. 13-2, and Cloud9 completely smashing it, looking like the better team. We'll have to see if there's a recovery on the CT side for INTZ. after the break.
Up your game. 128-tick service for the smoothest, most responsive gaming experience ever. Ensure you game seamlessly with our state-of-the-art FACEIT anti-cheat. Track your progress with advanced stats within your community, country, or region. This is the true ranked experience. Sign up now at FACEIT.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
We back, but will INTZ find their way back into this game? Can they do it? It's not looking great for them. Only a measly 2 rounds on that T side of theirs. Cloud9 could end it all. Could choke them out with a pistol win. And they've already got ladder control. But look at this little train of INTZ players coming from B to say hello on the flank. This is going to be surprising. There's a smoke down there. This is going to be very interesting. How much damage does this do? There's so many backs exposed. Nice damage from Cello, but the trade's in from Automatic. He's really holding this down.
The bomb's been planted, most importantly. Oh, he was so close to the initial peak. Thought he would take him out before he even touched the bomb. He made it look easy, but it's because of his own level of skill, damn it. Automatic and Co, they've taken both pistol rounds now, and it's 14-2. There may be no chance to even mount a CT side for INTZ.
That's a really big round from Automatic.
Yeah, and as soon as those 3 INTZ players were down ladder that quick, I mean, you got to give the odds of them, and that, you know, they've got at least 3 Ts in the back. Automatic, able to hit all those shots and get those flankers.
Yeah, it's so rare that you see a flank like that where you have a triple peek into 3 guys who have their backs to you. That was really cool. And props to INTZ for setting that up, but it's a shame they couldn't close it.
I've never jumped on that, ever.
Never
That's
what?
Main. The side of the skip.
Oh.
I didn't think I even knew you could jump on that. 1, 2. But has he got the 3rd in him? Perhaps he'll not be given the opportunity. TenZ needs to protect these weapons now as well. He will fall. All right then. INTZ. That's a very important frag from Cello. 2 for him, 2 for SHZ. TenZ is half health. Now he's quarter health. Quarter health. Pre-firing.
He was actually correct as well.
Ouch.
All right
Yeah.
then. It's not over.
I have to
It's not
say,
over yet.
this is a spot where I see this happen a lot, actually. The games that we've commentated, James, that's happened so many times that the team running all the rifles, when they go through Ivy, there's that spot where there are 1v1s available for the CTs, unless the nades are present.
Yeah, it's one of those angles you can't swing out together as, in a pack. You know, it's like 1 by 1 angle.
Yeah.
You know, so when you're CT and you're posted up, you're going to get some clean shots.
It's a meaty flashbang. Yell looking, fishing for something. Distraction being run from the ladder position. That looks very deliberate. Daps just swinging around with the P250. The Eagles are the real threat. There's a smoke for the Yell off position. Yell has a little less to worry about. Great timing. Might even find a second one. And then there were 4. 3 Desert Eagles for Cloud9. They'll quietly back away. Taps for a P250. Again, he's just showing presence. That seems to be his job at the moment. Swinging around ladder with his teammates trying to find entries. Now they creep down into the ladder position once again. That's the bomb spotted immediately. And it's in a somewhat forward position. It's been rescued though. 37 seconds. INTZ being patient. 2 plays around connector. They've lost a player finally on the A bomb site, but this round may soon be over, it seems. Daps with 9 HP. There it is. Round number 4 for INTZ.
So they will add some delay until Cloud9 can get themselves into a buy that resembles something workable. But they're going to get there next round. And I wonder what Cloud9 will go with. I would expect to see a pretty clean default. I think that's always a good place to start.
Yeah, I think we'll have to see what their money is. But I feel like next gun round, what do they have? I think doing something fast outside would be my call.
Rang the bell again. Sometimes you need 3 headshots of a Glock. Maybe not from that range, but 1 won't be enough. 14-5 in favor of Cloud9. They are back on the buy once again. They've got about 4,500 average, or just below. We'll see how they mix in utility with rifles. Kustar is going to go for the Krieg, but they've got a reasonable level of grenades to go with these Kriegs. Plenty of smokes, plenty of flashbangs. INTZ look to start on A with 4. Oh, I like this face in the wall to avoid the early flashes. Shadow makes his way in. He will be denied, however, by Mixwell. Bouncing off the ladder, 12 HP, gets out of there in case there are grenades to follow. And the pain continues for INTZ on A.
So he might get some kind of an outside play run after all. 2 picks there for Cloud9 to work from now. INTZ got to take some gambles. They've got a lot of values that they're still holding on to, that AWP included. And they don't see anything towards outside. Right now, Cloud9 just slowing it down, trying to see if they can get something to capitalize upon. But instead, it's going to be the reverse. INTZ will make the plays. Find 2 quick kills. B is now safe again. Look how thin the INTZ are stretched here.
1 minute on the clock. 3v3 is doable. Sand almost has high ground. Closer and closer to Spools. Mixwell creeping. And there's a flank on the go as well. Yell's missed a red shot, but everyone's still alive in this 3 versus 3. He's stuck in connector. There's a Spools peak. And now INTZ have got really bad positions. As soon as that peak comes in, it's time to save, time to fall back. 13 HP for SHZ. Nothing doing there. And it's about to be game point for Cloud9.
This round a lot closer than it should have been. Yeah, super too early picks. And generally what I like to do is just regroup as 5 and just hit somewhere together. But they, you know, got spread apart and got picked off one by one. But
yeah, I don't mind the luck into B to see if if they rotated everybody out. If there's just one guy there, maybe you win a 1v1, or even if you lose it, you get some information. I guess it depends on how comfortable you are with the potential of losing a player before, as you say, because I like your approach where you kind of make it more consistent. You're like, okay, trade together, we vastly outnumber them. I prefer that as well.
Could be the last round. Creek party continues. 5 creeks for Cloud9. Really important money towards Ivy. Daps running distraction once again. Always enabling his teammates to deliver. Both teams do the same idea, it seems, but SHZ will take the angle first. More issues for Cloud9. Kusa not spotting a player by ladder room. Makes well set a trade, 2 versus 3. Still doable. Automatic making inroads towards the B bomb site. But how deep does he go? You may have seen a player by connector.
He has so much time to cause problems. He could get very deep if he wanted. He's actually maybe held in the perfect timing because he's going to hit some stepping upper, surely. There it is now. Oh man, Automatic is in such a round winning position, a map winning position. Goes for the immediate kill there, not waiting around to slow play it. Good trade comes out. Now it's up to Mixwell in the 1 versus 2 after plant.
SHZ rotated through CT. Mixwell may feel like he can't really lead this area. Moves just in time though. You can see SHZ on the high ground. Doesn't know where the second player is coming from. But yeah, they don't know where he is just yet. Oh, he's going to look to his right, taken down from his left. Such is the timing. A late push from connector by Yell will work out for INTZ. And they make it to 6.
Nice try there by Automatic. He found the opening. He knew that his teammates got the distraction outside. And that was a great shot by the rotator, INTZ. That keeps him in the match.
So now INTZ, do they have any way to mix things up? It's always really scary because you don't want to have the same approach all the time, but don't have even any time to speak about that. We have a fast play from Kusta towards Sandwich there for the brown train. He will get spammed.
Those sprays are giving INTZ a lot of results in that area specifically.
Feels more and more common, doesn't it? That, like, people just know the spots that your plates are like.
There isn't really anywhere to hide when you're standing there. Step of destiny. An exchange of grenades. Sandal creep. Bomb hit the floor. Not ideal.
Tough spot for C9. They don't have any smokes. Just gonna have to win some fights here. They can get a good pop flash. They may be able to take inner.
All coming up, but this actually could work out. They're able to get the entry. There's one, but maybe Jelly did too much damage here. San wins his 1v1 as well, leaving just Automatic with the AK-47. And he's going to lose that battle. Another round goes the way of INTZ. They actually stay 4 players strong at the end of the round too. They need a lot more where that came from. It's actually insane that Cloud9 are just, they've got so many rounds to work with. They just need 1.
Yeah, they may have to wait though. Although you never know with a round like this. However, the loss bonus is not such that they can spend a fair chunk. So it will be the odd Desert Eagle, the odd P250. No early grenades into main. A late Molotov. Double HEs would have been very interesting. And they make their way through. Maybe too easy to push through the choke point. But INTZ will still get most of the kills, so maybe it doesn't matter. Then again, maybe it does. Zaps has got himself an AUG in this 1 versus 3. There's one. He's done great damage, and they could capitalize on it in the rounds to come. No bomb plant for Cloud9, but they are able to buy.
It's a pretty strong result, considering they had almost nothing. Maybe they should just do that with guns. Like gun rounds.
See,
Yeah,
now
that kind
Cello gone.
That random timing out mid, it worked for INTZ too. 'Cause you don't really expect T's to come out that late with no noise or any you know, signals.
No telegraphing of their intentions. Telegraph and a telegram. Cello's short of a flashbang. Yeah, will be heard running away, but you never know. Sometimes it can be a bait. Sometimes one player can run away, and the second player is just standing there waiting for you to push the smoke. He has crept through it though.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point. Honestly, doesn't ever feel safe.
But look, he's made the right read. He's made it all the way up Ivy now. This could be the catastrophe for INTZ. One, almost catching the second one. He's got so much position though. Molly will tell the CTs where he is roughly. Oh, there was a chance there for Daps. Still a man advantage. Zand wondering what is the status of the B bomb site. The players are flooding in, but the bomb still needs to rotate in the meantime. TenZ is still creeping. The shadow gives Cello's position away. Then there were two left rotating back towards the A site, picked on B. It's all over the place here for INTZ, and Yell is in a 1 versus 3. He has a defuse kit and an AWP. I hope and a prayer.
Well, it's all come down to this for you, Mr. Yell. AWP and a 1v3. Bomb ticking away. Let's see what he's able to accomplish. There's the first one offered up for free. Looking to see if he can find some information here. Where's the next player? So many places for them to be. And, oh no, is he going to get knifed? Oh dear. Alright, there it is. Shot in the back, 16-8. Cloud9 have taken the first map.
Big numbers for Cloud9. Very, very nice first half, obviously. INTZ able to turn it around in the second round of the second half. But maybe just insurmountable. Such a big score for C9. Really hard to come back from these kind of leads, I think.
Yeah.
If INTZ had started on the CT side and won the pistol, I don't think it would have been a mirror scoreline, but there would have been plenty more fights, I think, in the second half. However, that was not to be. The T sides are still a struggle for the team. The Brazilian team is below tier 1, I'll say.
I mean, they made some good, like there were some close rounds here or there, but the general game plan just seemed a little bit too, again, all over the place. And I think that makes it harder for you as a caller as well, if you're calling on that team, to kind of understand what options to go for. But here are the scores. Obviously, Cloud9 with all the damage. Custa there with 2,500. Not bad.
Won't dive too deep into the numbers on the INTZ side. The first half was a shutout, and such is life. We will move on to Mirage. That is coming up after the break, which we will head to right now. We'll see you in a few minutes.